Hi Libra, thanks for joining me for the May 2018 Taroscope with Animal Totem. We're using the Rock and Roll Tarot deck, which is my own creation, as well as the Beast Mistress Animal Oracle cards, which are my own creation. You can find out more about them on my website. If you see things in these cards, go with that, because that's a message straight for you from Spirit. You might see a word might pop out at you. It may look like it says something else and it really does. Then go with that. Okay? There's some big things going on this month, astrology-wise. A big thing is that Uranus is moving into Taurus. So I'm going to take a second to look into that for you a little before we start the card reading. But I just want to get the cards laid out. I wanted to grab that one too. One more for Libra for May. There you go. Okay, so here's your cards. As to Uranus moving into Taurus, this is a kind of a big cycle. It takes a long time for it to go around the wheel, and it hasn't been in Taurus since, I don't know, like the 1930s or 1940s. Why don't we check it out? Why don't we? I keep guessing at it every reading. Why don't I just let you know when it was, when Uranus was in Libra? Uranus was in Libra in the 1940s, the early mid-1940s. Oh, that's Neptune in Libra. Excuse me, that's incorrect. Wait a minute. Uranus in Taurus. Yeah, Uranus was in Taurus in the late 1930s. Yeah. 1938, 1939, 1937. Yeah. Uranus moved to 0 Taurus. Let's just find out so we know. And 1935. Okay, so Uranus moved 0 Taurus. The last time Uranus moved 0 Taurus was late March of 1935. So it's been a very long time since Uranus has been in Taurus, and many of us weren't even alive at that time in the late 1930s. So this is a new energy for most people to experience. Now, in your case, with the Libra, it's going to be, let's see, in your 8th house of other people's money, joint finances, things of that nature. Now this really applies to Libra rising more than anything else. So this is a month you really do want to check that rising sign. Or even if you're watching other people's videos, you know, anytime there's astrology involved, your rising sign is probably more accurate. But anyways, so it's going for Libra rising. It's going to your 8th house of joint finances, other people's money, sex. So Uranus is always expect the unexpected. It can sometimes be sort of like shakeups, or just things changing. You know, changing suddenly, changing out of nowhere. I said this. It also rules over making things electronic too. You know, you could file your taxes electronically when maybe you didn't before. It could be something like that, because 8th house is taxes too. If you apply, you could, you know, there could be a new system. I said this to somebody else. There may be some new electronic system that you have to learn, or an upgraded software or something, you know, that you're going to have to be acclimated into. But on a on a regular level, it's down to earth level. It's just unexpected things are happening with your partnerships, joint finances, partners' money from the partnership, death, taxes. You know, these are all areas where Uranus may affect your life over the next several years. The good news for you is if you had, you know, with the partnership thing, I already got that. You know, it could be stabilize your partnership. If there's been shakeups in your partnership coming out of the old situation, it could be stabilized now. It's not messing with your 7th house anymore. Because Uranus does sometimes kind of mess with things, you know, a little. All right, let's look at this reading for you. The very first card out was Temperance. Temperance is balance and harmony. But it also represents higher forces being around. Guardian angels, higher elements, looking out for you, putting together a plan for you, putting some things in place so that you may receive them in a positive way, that you may, you know, something favorable could come out of it for you. The Queen of Cups is there too. So this is a person who would be favorable and maybe a part of that. You know, they're probably a part of that. I can just do a little smudging. They could be instrumental in making a big breakthrough or change in your life in some way. Now I say she because it's a queen, but in these readings, that's not necessarily the case. You know, it could be, there's no gender in these general readings. So there's a person who could be a water sign, which is Scorpio, Cancer, Pisces, who is heaven sent, you could even say, you know, that the angels and spirits have brought forth for you. This could be something that you gave up on a long time ago. Five of Cups in reverses, I gave up on that a long time ago. I don't even think about it anymore. So it could be recycled around, you know. It could come back around, and that's totally Uranus energy. The last thing you're thinking of, there it is, it shows up. You have the Ace of Swords here, so this is some kind of a big breakthrough also. I didn't put the clouds in the card, but most of the decks will have the sword piercing through these dark clouds and shining a light. So again, a situation that seemed insurmountable, seemed like it was a dark thing and it wasn't going to happen. The Ace of Swords comes through and the light is pierced, and it does happen. It's a way is shown. When there is no way, a way is shown. And that's this too. Similar. You might have gave up on it. Well, that's never going to happen. Well, guess what? Could happen. Something's coming back to you that's been missing or taken away. This is usually not an object. This is usually more your inner stuff, like you know, self-esteem, pride, you know, vindication. You get vindication often, and you're definitely completing a karmic cycle is what I'm trying to say. But I'm hearing cracking a karmic cycle, so I don't know what that would be about. But both cases, we've got these angelic presences here, right? Very similar visual representation. A little bit different meaning in the cards, but also just reinforcing that fact that there are these higher forces are helping you and looking out to you. You got an angel on your shoulder. That's what I'm going to put for your headline. The angel on your shoulder. Hierophant is something a little bit different than you thought, or different for you, or outside the norm. The Hierophant upright is very much something that's you know, normal, within the realm of you know, structure, the usual things by society standards. In reverse is outside of that realm. It could be by society standards, but it just could be different for you, something a little different. I feel like for most of you, this is just something a little different for you. You know, you may have a vision of what it's going to be, and it's maybe, let the spirits, you've got these angels here, so let them show you this different thing that could be something completely different than what you thought. Many of you may be moving. You may have to move to a different area in order to accept this responsibility, huh? I was trying to say opportunity, and responsibility is coming out. So there's some responsibility involved here too, in some form or fashion. You may have to move to take it, or you may decide you're going to work from home. Maybe some of you definitely wanted to move. Some of you wanted to move. You were trying to relocate, couldn't do it, and then all of a sudden it turns up again. Guess what? You know, you couldn't get a job where you wanted to move to, or it just wasn't going to work out, and now it may work out for some of you. The world's in reverse here. The world is the world. The world upright, world reverse. World in reverse isn't the opposite, like, oh, it's bad. It just means that it's still the world. To me, it means you're still the world, but you don't see it, how good it really could be. And I think that's because for many of you, it's this difference thing. Well, it's not really what I wanted, though. Well, guess what? It's going to lead to what you wanted, and world says even more. The other thing, when these two show together, often it does mean like some kind of travel or relocation. Some of you may go somewhere else in the world entirely, you know. You may pick up and move to a different country. You know, that could totally happen. Okay, so let's go ahead and get our animal totem card for our Libra peeps for May 2018. Is that one? That's what I wanted to come. Woodpecker. Yeah, opportunities knocking at your door. Hear the rap of the woodpecker. Rapping, tapping from the forest canopy overhead. Undetected if not for the sound. Listen. Primal rhythms awaken your heart's to the earth's song. Yeah, it's about that knocking. Opportunity is knocking this month for you. And it could come in, it's definitely feeling like it's coming in really strange and unexpected ways. There's going to be a lot of strange and unexpected occurrences for everybody with the Uranus change, you know, the Uranus energy really getting activated at this time. but it's something good for you. If it's not quite what you thought you wanted, I would say take it to, but at least give it a chance. At least give it a listen. At least, you know, entertain the idea. Because I think you'll find that it's even more than you had hoped for in the end, or down the road. Okay? Hey Libras, thanks so much for tuning in. Everything here is available on my website. All the purchases go towards making these videos free every month. I have all sorts of other stuff on my website. Different readings and astrology reports that are very affordable. T-shirts that are pretty cool. I've put some of the animal totems. I know for sure woodpeckers available. So that's all under the art section. I have the reading section. So there's a lot to explore on my website. By doing so and liking and sharing and commenting, this all makes this me able to continue to do you know, the readings free every month. Thanks for everything you do. Donating is always appreciated if you feel like it through PayPal. Even a couple dollars is helpful, but it's not mandatory, but appreciated. So thank you guys all so much. Remember that you are love and beauty incarnate. Have a great month of May, and I'll speak to you soon.